So y'all know I do the services based on what I'm guided to talk about. And so Spirit asked me to talk about the Beatitudes, not me, there's a whole troop of us that are going to be talking about the Beatitudes. And so, you know, here's the deal. In standard Christendom, when we're talking about and reading Matthew and even Luke, but Matthew particularly, you know, we hit the ground, he gets his disciples, and then it's the Beatitudes. Boom. So the Beatitudes are the basic premise of the theology that he's beginning to bring to the world, right? And unfortunately, and y'all know I'm seasoned, so in my day, as I was coming up through the ranks, they were not always good. The Beatitudes were used to diminish you, make you feel like you should be humble all the time, submissive all the time, and does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like, it really literally says in the KJV, the King James Version that I inherited, it says, blessed are the poor in spirit. And so now you're supposed to be happy being poor. Do you hear what I'm saying? So historically, the values that have been interpreted have been used not to encourage or to bless us. And you think this is archaic, and it's not. Even just recently, in the last few months, I have heard someone say around my presence, well, you call yourself a Christian. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, well, what does that mean? I call myself a Christian. Yeah, I am. I'm a metaphysical Christian. But what they're saying when they say that is, you should allow my abusive behavior toward you to be okay. You should let me walk all over you because you're supposed to be submissive and passive and loving, period. And that's not what the Beatitudes are about. It's how they have been interpreted. They're really not about that. They're about bringing us strength and bringing us power and a sense of presence. So that's what we're going to work on today. Is everybody okay with that? Has anybody, y'all out there too, does anybody know what I'm talking about when that expectation of your religion is that you should not have an opinion or whatever, okay? So we want to move toward that. Okay. The first, I'm going to work with two today, very quickly. And the first one is, of course, KJV, blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will, theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are poor in spirit. Well, in the language of the time, people would have heard, blessed are the humble. Not poor in spirit, not poor in any way, but the humble, because they will hear the kingdom of God meant counsel of God. So if you are receptive and humble, you will hear God. How cool is that? So blessed are those that are humble and receptive because they're going to hear the messages of God. They're going to be able to hear God. Very powerful, right? But we have not been allowed to encourage that in the world, but we need to encourage it within ourselves. All right. The Aramaic literally says, delighted are those who surrender to God because heaven's reign belongs to them. So the word blessed actually could be interpreted as delighted. So delighted are those who hear God because they will, who surrender to God, for they will hear the counsel. So again, it's about being receptive. We interpret it as blessed are the receptive, for they will feel God's presence and hear God's counsel. So that's the same thing. Blessed are the receptive, for they will hear God's presence and God's counsel. So, receptive to God's energy. What was going on in their day and time is there was a great identity attached to their lineage. They were under persecution, and so in order to become strong, you attach to the identity of who you are, your tribe, your kingdom, whatever. This first beatitude allows us to change our identity to that of child of God. And once we shift from being identified with a clan or a heritage or a culture, and we identify now with just being a child of God, the whole world opens to us. Do you see the difference? So it was a shift of perspective and perception. Like, okay, I'm going to be receptive to God, and I'm going to follow God's counsel, which frees me from cultural expectations and norms. It frees me. Right? Okay. So seeking in the counsel, when we seek the counsel of the world, we're following the norm. When we move into this, we're seeking the counsel of the unknown, because we do not know what we're doing, right? When we seek the Spirit of God, we are open to divine activity to move into and through us in a way the world cannot provide. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I still got to say these things. So the one example that the Spirit asked me to share with you guys, and this is just a Cindy example. When we bought this property in 2000, we had been renting for 10 years prior in another location. And I was at the other location. You would not believe, guys, you would not believe the hoops you have to jump through. OMG. Fulton County, to get this, to get that, to get the other. It was a horse farm that we had to get permission to have a church on and blah, 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 blah. And it was just arduous to the max. And I've told everybody, if I knew how much work it would have cost, how much work was involved, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. So God put my blinders on and said, you're doing it, go. Boom, boom, boom. So we were up to a point where all these deadlines and all these things have to be accomplished. We're up to a point where we're at a deadline, and I'm talking to a gentleman in Fulton County, and he said, you need to have a survey done and an easement or something defined. Okay, so I'm calling surveyors. Because I have only so much time before another trigger flips and another trigger flips and another trigger flips on this timetable of all these things. And I started calling surveyors. And they said, of course we can come do that. It'll be 6 months. I went, no, I need it before then. Well, I'm sorry. I called every surveyor on our side of town. They were all booked solid. It was crazy. I called Fulton County back, and I said to him, I said, is there any way? And I said, I am looking. I'm 6 months out, and that's getting us in trouble with all the other deadlines. And he said, I'm sorry, there's nothing. And I may have gotten a little teary with him on the phone because I'm Cindy. I didn't lose it. But I said, oh, my God. I said, okay. And I hung up the phone, and I hit my knees, literally got on my knees, and then I lost it. And I just started bawling. And I said, God, you brought me this far. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to hold this together. You've got to help. I don't know what to do. If we need to, I don't know what to do. I have no idea. So many triggers were up there, so many things. And I cried and I prayed. Got off on my knees, and a few minutes later, took probably 20 minutes, I got a phone call, and it was the man from Fulton County. And he said, listen, I love my church. I know how to do it. I will do it for you. And I will do it for you for free. And I went, oh, my God, I'll pay you. And he goes, I'll do it for free. Of course, then I lost it again. I hung up the phone, and then I hit my knees again. I started crying and saying, oh, my God. Yeah, it was Cindy. It was very demonstrative, I'm sure. But I share this with you in that when we're looking and surrendering to the will and work of God, God counsel is outside of what we can see. God counsel is not like, oh, well, here's your 1, 2, 3s. I've already got them set up for you over here. Sometimes it's out of the blue dropping in. And do you know we met every one of those triggers? Every deadline was met. We closed. Everything was beautiful. And we did things we should not have done. But that was the most dramatic because it was falling apart. But do you see that? God counsel, God intervention, God energy takes us into the unknown spaces. And those unknown spaces are the spaces where this reality is created. So we are no longer bound by this reality. We're in a space that we can live above it and work with it. Do you see? All right. So, blessed are those who are humble and receptive to the energy of God counsel. Blessed are they. The other one I was going to speak to is blessed are the meek. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Well, in Rocco, I would throw Rocco out as if you guys know who he is. Rocco Errico is an Aramaic scholar, and he worked with George Lambza, who spoke Aramaic his whole entire life. George Lambza translated the original Peshitta text from Aramaic to English, catching all the idioms and stuff, and Rocco worked with him. So according to Rocco's perspective of the language itself, he's not a theologian, it's just language. Okay. Is that better? Okay. All right. Blessed are the meek. Rocco said that the people of that time would have understood that meant, blessed are you guys who get off your tail every single day, you get up and you go to work and do your job. Blessed are you that show up. that show up, because there were levels, yeah, in that day and time, the rich had priority. The rich could take things from you. The rich had seniority. Do you hear what I'm saying? Blessed are you who do not get mad, who get up every day and take your light out into the world and you do your job. He also said that sometimes when a man would pass who was wealthy and he did not have a male heir, females might have been there, but a male heir, it would be given to a meek person in the village. Someone who was respectable and who got up every day and went to work. Sorry, ladies. But, so they would have heard that. They would have heard someone who gets up every day. Metaphysically, we say, blessed are those who take their light out into the world, for they will create a world of light. Blessed are you take your light to wherever you're going, wherever you're working, whatever you're doing, whatever your contribution. You get up every day, you invest in your dream, you invest in what's yours to do. You're taking your light into the world and you are creating a world of light around you. You see, how empowering is that? And over time, you will see the benefit of it. Seasoned, I know. My family did not always agree with who I am as a metaphysical minister. My mom cried when I was ordained. She was Baptist, and that women don't do that. And God told her to be quiet. Because she talked to God, but God said, be quiet. She's mine. I got her. But over time, all of my family, none of them, believe or hold the stance I stand in. But they all know who to turn to when they're in trouble. Do you hear what I'm saying? By me taking my light out and being in the world, not trying to change anybody, just being who I am, everyone that knows me knows if I'm in trouble, I can call Cindy. I got a phone call the other day from someone I don't see once every 10 years. She was in trouble. And she knew she could get to me. She knew I'd pray with her. Do you see what I'm saying? That is what I do. I invest my light every day in this beautiful, beautiful little church every day. And that light creates a world of light that can feed a lot of people. Every one of us takes part of us to what we're doing. And we're showing up for life. We're taking that essence of us. And even though you may not be well known, you will be known for who you are. That's my point. You will be known for who you are. You don't have to have banners around you. And the world you will create through that consistency is a world that will support your light and support the light in others. Does that sound easy? All right. So your light in the world. All right. So, with the new identity, we're children of God. With showing up in the world, we're sharing our light, we're receiving the light. And then our world becomes a world that lives above the challenges that we face or see or hear about. Our world becomes a world of opportunity and a world of fitting what our soul needs to live in our personal journeys. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. Receptivity. So now I'm going to give you a few little hints or guides. If you are receptive to God, you are a receptive person. If you are a receptive person, you need to be aware of your environment because you're going to be receiving data, information all the time. It's not just a God channel. If you're receptive, you're going to be in spaces where you're going to feel what's going on around you. The idea is don't turn off your receptivity just because the subtle energies around you don't match with you. Take it for information. Well, maybe I need to take my energy over here. Or maybe I send light to this energy I'm feeling that doesn't resonate with me. You see what I'm saying? But don't turn off. Don't put your blinders on. Don't turn off your receptivity. Most of us are taught to do that, whether you realize it or not. Children, little babies are so aware, so awake. And they're told, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. That's silly. You're not. So by the time they're 13, 14, receptivity's shut because it was not encouraged. And as adults, when you live receptive to God, receptive to things, you get input, you get guidance. And the norm of the world, the cultural norm, is you must be crazy. Still, to this day. However, the norm of the world, if you consistently stand in your intuition, will listen to you when they need you. Okay? But I want you to be aware that don't turn it off. Be aware of the environment. If it doesn't resonate with you, send light to it or move away from it. Does that make sense? Okay. That way you're always open. You know, we get our guidance in meditation, we listen, we follow God, but we get guidance all the time. All right. Showing up. Oh my gosh, you guys. Are you guys still showing up pretty good? Is anybody getting tired? I was being a brat this week. Sometimes I am. So I was late for something. I was late 2 times this week. So I rolled in. I was 5 minutes late for a client, which is not. Anyway, I popped in with my ego self, and I said, all right, I've been doing this for 35 years, showing up every day. I don't care if I'm late. And I gave myself a big old grace thing. Sometimes we get tired, but we still got to show up. And if we show up, we get through and we make it, we get the blessings, we give the blessings, and we grow. Every time you show up for yourself, for your gift, for your talent, you grow. So you go home different than when you showed up. But we have to move through those moments where it's just like, oh, another day. Yeah, it is. It's another opportunity. And like everyone will tell you, your lifetime is that long. It's literally that long. It's over. Boom. It's over. Do you want to sleep through it? You can. It's fine. You'll be back if you do. You just get to pop back in another lifetime, another experience. You can sleep through that one too. You have all eternity to learn. Or you can take this one, no matter where you are in the cycle of the experiences here. You can become awake to it. And you can know that your light is valuable, that you're bringing it every moment, and when you leave, even if you don't know what happened, if you go home, you did good. Everybody getting it? Okay. So, and there is a build-up on that showing up. There's a build-up that occurs. It's easier. It's easier. So, if we bring value to everything that we do, what returns to us? Value. So law, what you give returns to you. Now, if you bring value to everything you do, does necessarily acknowledgement from the world return to you? No. But the value that you need for your world returns to you. And if you are creating a world of light, can the world even see you? Yeah, sometimes. If they choose, they can. But sometimes they can't. If they choose. All of us are contributing to the whole. All of us are contributing to the whole. But as we contribute, know that what you give returns to you, and validation should come not from the cultural environment that you are not bowing to. Validation comes from the sense of value in yourself, the spiritual awakening within you, the good, the love you feel, the light you feel, the amazingness that happens around you. That's our validation. That's the validation that comes to you when you are alive. And you guys know whatever makes you feel that, whatever moments make you feel that. It could be breathing in the sun. It could be holding a child. It could be talking with someone. And or it could be a meditation. But you feel that. That is the value of your life. That is you feeling you. And do you really need to tell the whole world what you just experienced? Do you need the whole world to see what you experienced and validate? Oh, yeah, I can see that you might have had a good meditation. Doesn't matter. What matters is your energy inside you. So we don't need the approval. We don't need the validation. We don't need to rise to the top of any ladder, because we are building our own ladders. And we're always at the top of that ladder. We're always at the top of that. My light always shines no matter where I am contributing. And if I do have the identity that I am a child of God and I'm taking my light into the world consistently, I am creating the world that serves my soul. And it will bless the whole. Now, how do you like those two Beatitudes? Are they powerful? All right. So as we rewrite this in our souls, we're literally rewriting it in the whole annals of time. As we change the perception here in this moment by this little group, we are changing the perception in the writings and the mankind consciousness and race consciousness. So let's do that, shall we? So put your feet on the floor. And let's just breathe. Father, Mother God, we ask that all that is now done be for the highest blessing for all concerned. Allow yourself to breathe and feel the love of God pouring through you. Feel your heart opening. And sense, imagine, dream in a column of light. This is a column of light that is yours, created by you. Notice the color, the energy. And in your heart, lift up. Feel a guardian angel with you. Feel Jesus Christ guiding you. Just look up into a space that is just a beautiful vista. It will look like whatever it needs to for you. Could be a white cloud, could be a scene. But I want you to step into that energy. And as you stand in this energy, begin to feel the eternal nature of who you are. I am, and I will be. Begin to sense and feel the energy of your life around you now. It may be funny, it may be interesting. As the eternal child of God, is this life structure what I need and desire for this incarnation? And whatever you get, yes or no, I want you to take a breath and breathe your love into whatever you sense or feel. If you don't have a visual, you'll get a feeling. Just breathe love to your life. And if you're willing and ready, just say in your heart, I am ready to hear the counsel of God in my world. And let it flow. I am ready to take my light into all that I do. Send love. And let the vision of your life that appeared just release until you find yourself standing in the space that you arrived at. I am the divine child of God. I am eternal. And I get to choose. And you can choose the love you feel. You can choose whatever you choose. You don't have to choose. Just feel. Father, I ask you to bless everyone in this moment. And just gently bring your awareness back to the column of light. Feel yourself coming back into your chair. I love my life. And I love God. Take a breath. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. How'd you guys do? Good. Whether you sometimes you might not see or sense anything in the moment, but the fact that you opened, you will get some guidance, you'll get some insights. And if you were able to say, I want to be guided, I want to live that path, you will be. And it might come in a very strange way. It might come in through the side door. But you are taking a step to living divinity right here, right now. Say, yay, God. Yay, God.